In the criminal justice system, acts of insurrection are considered acts of treason against the emperor. In the city of Jerusalem, the dedicated detectives who investigate these defiant felons are members of the elite squad known as the Special Riot Unit. Join them as they question the members of the Jesus Gang.
I am getting so frustrated with this case.
I know. I thought we'd be further than this by now.
So did I.
I thought for sure, maybe Nicodemus would help us out.
Yeah.
And I thought Mary Magdalene was going to roll over real easy, but
That
man,
would've been a hope.
she's tough.
No kidding.
And then, we've still got Judas Iscariot, but I don't know if we've seen the last of that money or not.
Well, who do we have left?
Well, I just received word that they caught Barabbas, the insurrectionist.
Bring him in.
All right. Right in here. Okay. Sit down. Now, you're not going anywhere, but I'll let you loose for now. It took a month of Sabbaths, but we got you.
You thought you were above the law. You thought the rabble would protect you, but here you are.
My men will not leave me. No iron bars can stop me or my cause.
Oh, we've seen the likes of you before. Disgruntled, shiftless, lawless brigands. Nothing but thieves and murderers who try to hide behind some crime or crusade.
My cause is just.
And what cause is that?
The freedom of our people from the oppression of the Romans and their puppet king, Herod.
Insurrection, rebellion, sedition. We're not going to have any trouble nailing you to a cross, buddy.
And just how are you planning to wage this rebellion?
Well, the Romans may have their legions and armor and superior weapons, but we have stealth and cunning.
So, instead of attacking the Romans head on like warriors, you attack small villages in the night?
You steal chickens and grain from your countrymen.
You murder those that stand in your way?
The end justifies the means.
The end being riches and power?
An army needs supplies. Loyalists should be willing to donate. If they refuse to supply my army, then that proves they are pawns of the oppressors and they deserve what they get.
And suppose you were successful. Suppose all the people supported your efforts to defeat the Romans. Suppose by some miracle a tiny country of farmers and shepherds were able to chase out the mightiest army in the world. Then what would you do?
What would I do in the war?
No, after the war. What do you plan to do then?
The people would need a strong leader, a forceful personality, someone who can maintain the allegiance of the troops to continue their vigilance.
Someone like a governor, or a general, or a king.
The kingdom of David must be restored. I am as qualified as anyone. Why not me?
You can't see it, can you?
See what?
Challenges to the Romans will not go unpunished. The Romans will destroy the whole country because of rebels like you.
That's why you're so dangerous. Stealing and killing are local concerns. They let us handle that. But insurrection, that'll get us all killed.
That's why it's better that one man should die for the people than that the whole nation should perish.
Typical. You're just looking for a scapegoat, someone to blame in order to appease the Romans.
Oh, certainly a scapegoat is a time-honored Jewish tradition. But you are no atonement for sin. You are the cause of our crime and political unrest.
My men and I are not criminals. We are political pawns to be sacrificed.
If you're such a dedicated zealot, you should be glad to offer your life for the cause.
I am. I am willing anytime.
Well, if you're being straight with us, then let's make a deal.
What kind of deal?
Well, 2 members of your gang are scheduled to be crucified the day before Passover.
What of it?
We're willing to let them go in exchange for you.
You claim you're willing to be martyred for the cause. Here's your chance.
Besides, you can also show compassion and sacrificial leadership to your band of zealots.
You got to be kidding. Why would I volunteer to take the rap for them? These guys got caught. They deserve their fate.
You got caught. What about your fate?
I am worth more than they are. I am indispensable to this movement.
Do you think we're going to let you, the ringleader, walk scot-free? Here's the deal. We will release your men if you agree to sign to confess your guilt and accept your responsibility.
Are you saying you will release them if I serve their time and make a statement?
You misunderstand. These 2 will be released, but you will go to the cross in their place.
What kind of deal is that?
The covenant is this. We get your admission of the illegitimacy of your movement, and you become, as you say, the scapegoat, and you at least save 2 of your friends.
We take the risk of making you a martyr, but you save face by dying for your friends while accepting the responsibility for your actions.
Are you crazy? I'm not willing to die for them 2 bums.
Well, maybe we haven't explained this clearly. You really don't have much of a choice. Either you do it our way, or there will be 3 crosses on the hill.
Some choice. I'd rather my whole band be crucified than give you the satisfaction of a confession. You guys can just go too.
Hey, watch your language. You can do your cursing when you're up on the cross.
Why should I watch my language? Why would I want to cooperate? Why would anyone be willing to die for someone else? What's the payoff?
It's the right thing to do.
You're fools if you think I or anyone else would be willing to die for someone else, let alone convicted criminals. You can bet no one would die in my place.
Probably not.
So, if you're not going to sign this confession, then you can just rot in prison until Pilate decides what to do with you.
Get him out of here.
Come on.
I suppose he's right. Who would be willing to die for the guilty? What kind of choice is that?
Good old Barabbas. You know, it's kind of interesting. In the past couple weeks, we've been looking at the followers of Jesus. You know, those people who were closely associated with Jesus. And they were being interrogated and wondering, would they be convicted? You know, would they be convicted of being a faithful and loyal member of Christ's gang? But Barabbas doesn't fit that same mold. I don't even think Barabbas probably knew of Jesus until at the end. You know, Barabbas was one of those people who were a hardened criminal. He murdered. He was causing rebellions. He was fighting for a cause, he said. He thought that what he did would justify the end of what was happening. Yeah, he was on the hot seat. How would you feel? How would you feel about being put on the hot seat, questioning whether you have done anything wrong, questioning whether you would deserve death? Oh, many of us probably would say, no, that's not right. You know, what I've done, I've never done anything as bad as murder anyone. I've never done anything like being a terrorist. I've never done anything like stealing. I've never done those bad sins. But the fact is, sin is sin. We are all guilty of not doing what God has asked us to do. In one way or the other, we are all guilty of falling short of doing what is right. And we all deserve the punishment. Did you ever think about it? Barabbas was asked to give of himself up for the sake of his buddies, to die for somebody else. What was his answer? No way. Would you? Would you be willing to give up your life for someone? Oh, maybe your best friend, maybe your mom, your dad, whatever it might be. Oh, yes, you might be able to do that. Maybe. I doubt it. We'd like to think so. But there was one person. Jesus. Jesus was willing to give up his life for you, for me, for all who are guilty, so that we might have life, that we might be able to be freed, pardoned, just as Barabbas was pardoned at the end by Pilate, when Pilate asked the people, who would you like me to release? Why would they ever have released a murderer? Why would they release somebody who was a hardened criminal and not release Jesus, who only did good for people? Yes, Jesus was innocent, and he was willing to go to the cross, to die for you, to take on your punishment for your sin, so that you would be able to be pardoned and freed. You know, we never know what happened to Barabbas afterwards. He got freed. I bet you he thought about it. I bet you he maybe thought, well, who is this person? Who is this Jesus that took my place on the cross, that gave me a chance to live? We don't know what happened to Barabbas. But the real question is, what are you doing? You who have been freed by Christ, how are you showing your gratitude, your thanks for what Christ has done for you? How are you living your freedom, your life?